Okay, greetings class. This is going to give you a bit of a overview on DNS on a server. So what I have in front of me, I've logged into a server 2012 R2. I have the roles here installed, the Active Directory, DHCP. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at DNS, domain name system. So we just simply right click on our server name, we go to DNS Manager, and then our DNS Manager comes up. This is an Active Directory integrated DNS server. So what that means is that here are some domain names. They are Active Directory integrated. So that means that if I put a name to an IP of something else in this Active Directory, it will replicate. So if I do it on this server's name is Rose, let's say I do it on Lily or another domain controller, it automatically replicates from point A to point B, the host name. So we look up some of the forward lookup zones, right? So these are computer names, and then they resolve to IP addresses, right? So we have some names that resolve to IP addresses, right? So here are some names of some computers and the IP address that they resolve to, right? So that means if I ping one of these by IP address, it'll resolve the name of the computer, right? So that's basically what a DNS does. It just simply resolves the name to the computer. So here are some names of the computers, and here are the IP addresses. And why that is because we simply can't remember all IP addresses, right? We remember names. Let me log into Amanda or Ambrose, and then I just simply type Ambrose, and I can get to that IP address instead of remembering IP addresses. The question in the case project asks for you to, it says that basically you have two domain controllers, DCs. They're Active Directory integrated. So what that means is if I put something on domain controller A, it automatically syncs to the domain controller B, right? But we also have some internet presence, right? So internet is not in your Active Directory, right? That is your directory for your company. So it's saying we have another zone here called cmspub.com, and that's not part of Active Directory. So what you want to do is you want your domain controllers to be able to resolve some of those CMS pub host names off your Active Directory domain, right? So it's not on your it's not on your Active Directory, so it doesn't automatically sync. So the challenge here is something publicly in the internet you want to be able to resolve to your Active Directory. So what you basically do is you could create what's called a forwarder, right? So I simply right-clicked, went to Properties on the domain controller, I went to Forwarder, and these are DNS servers that are public, right? So we could add that DNS server within our DNS domain controller, right? So here I have Google. So that means that anything that's on the Google DNS, our DNS server can resolve because I'm forwarding anything that goes to the internet to those IP address or DNS servers, right? So you could simply, to resolve this problem, you could simply add a DNS forwarder to your DNS server, and that's basically it, right? Because the only thing DNS does, it allows you to ping and resolve. So let me just give you an example of DNS so that you understand what I'm referring to here. We are going to go ahead and do a ping, not Bing. We're going to do a ping, right? And so in this case, we're going to ping 8.8.8.8, right? We don't have a name to that. So what if I ping -a it, and it tells me I'm asking for the name. So it's telling me when I ping it, that's the name of that IP address, right? So that's what DNS does. It simply resolves the name to an IP address. So I could ping a a computer name, vice versa, in order to resolve the IP address. Right? So that's all that DNS does, and that's what they're asking you to do, right? Because when you go to a web page, you don't go to 8.8.8.8, right? You go to Google, right? You don't go to 8.8.8.8, you go to google.com, right? And it's able to resolve google.com by knowing that DNS is saying, here's the server, here's what that name is, go. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.